Namato Ratana Tayassa. May I pay homage to Triple Gem, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents, my teachers. Hello everyone, good evening. As usual, today on Friday the 8th of May 2020, as usual this evening I'm here with you all to be friend and also to discuss and also to talk to you during this lockdown and you are isolating. And day by day we do realize that this lockdown is going to end or ease, and there is a sense of a freedom that we can experience. And someone probably planning for the further ahead, that what am I going to be, what am I going to do, so and so. So here again, Friday, good evening. So hi everyone again, as usual. So today is the Friday, and the weather is just changed from very sunny, now it's a little bit of a showering rain. So I'm here in this barn that we have converted to be a small usable room with the Buddha. Came from Thailand, and you can see this lantern, and this lantern kids made it to celebrate the Buddha's birthday or the Vesak day. So and we will have the Vesak celebration for the kids on this Sunday, starting from 9:30. So those children who have made these kind of lanterns, you can drop it here at the center, and you can hang around. We have created these strings, okay, so you can drop it off. Hi, hello, hi Nish, Monit, Colin, good evening. So this is just another next day immediately after we have celebrated the Buddha's birthday. Before I go ahead, I would like to read out some of the reflections and some questions and feedbacks that I came across. Okay? And this is the one feedback. Actually, Colin wrote it a few days ago, but because of the Vesak celebration, I didn't read it out. So he wrote, "Good afternoon, Venerable Sujan. Lately, I have noticed people at the supermarket are buying more plants." I think which is good, buying more plants. Maybe subconsciously they have been influenced by this virus. They have been told by the restrictions to stay at home, social distances, etc. Now they stopped, looked around and said there is another world out there and I have been missing it. How can I spend my time constructively and positive, both internal and outwardly, to the world? Yeah. So this is a reflection from Colin in relation to how anxious we become in terms of easing of this lockdown. And there is another very encouraging and beautiful message from Karine. She wrote saying, "Good evening, Achan. It is very admirable and honorable yours and other monks' work." She used so beautiful word, admirable and honorable. Thank you very much, Karine. And she further wrote saying, "By traveling so distant from your home countries simply to make us understand love, kindness and compassion, share with us how to be grateful for what we have and let all the negativities aside. I actually have to be grateful for this lockdown. Because now I am able to listen your talks every day and practice guided meditation more times a day. She further writes, more and more questions start to arise on me. Lately, I'm starting to feel the need to isolate myself into myself, to meditate and to understand better feelings about me. I mentioned before that I have a child, a son, that I need to attend. So obviously, I cannot do that. Am I being selfish? How can I balance my will and my duties? So this is a message, beautiful message from Karine. And the way she wrote, saying that how far we have traveled. Obviously, she realized that we came from far east. And without our families, without our relatives, and we are here working for the happiness and happiness for people. And the way she wrote, it touches me and it encourages me to continue working and helping and being online, helping you all in a way. Okay, and the question she asked, am I being selfish? And that simply, she wanted to meditate more or isolate more, but she has got a son who is very young, so she has to fulfill the duty as well. So when we look at the Buddha's teaching, so I thought that I will extend from here now for the night. When we look at the Buddha's teachings, the whole Buddha's teaching is called Dhamma. And Dhamma basically means the duty, the law, a nature. So when we look at that, we look at it in different forms. One is a Dhamma as the nature. When we look at the Dhamma as a nature, the nature itself has got its own existence, which law the nature has to follow. And this law should be performing in accordance with the natural law. And the duties that the natural law should perform incorrectly, and only then everything functions properly. Otherwise, it will mess up. I heard a story saying that there was it's like the insect with many legs. If we tell the insect to walk on the 2 legs or move one leg after another, then this insect won't be able to walk properly. So that's not a natural way of walking. So natural way of walking is let the insect walk in its own way. So nature has got its own rules. That rules will follow, or that rules will be functioning in accordance with the natural law. And these natural law has to fulfill the duties properly, and that brings the harmony, that brings the well-being, that brings the peace. The very moment when we interfere, or whenever something interferes the world, the natural world, the natural law, then that creates the friction, that creates suffering, that creates unhappiness. And that's the same with us too. And even this virus as well. When I look at the history, there are numbers of these pandemic history throughout the time, even the time of the Buddha until now. There are so many times occurred. And that's simply the disruption. And as we, as a person, or as a person who is also bound by the natural law, we have to also fulfill our duties. Now, we have our body, we have our mind. This body has to function in accordance with the natural law. Yeah? This body has to function in accordance with the natural law. The very moment when we eat something which is not good for our body, then that creates the problem in our body. When the weather changes again, because of the change, then we become ill too. So, but this body has got its own rule, and the rules needs to fulfill by itself by performing the correct duties. And only then we become healthier, we become well-being. And in terms of our activities, we have to fulfill our duties correctly, and only then everything will be right. Yes, we have different desires. Yes, we want to do this, and we want to do this, we want to do that. Different types of desires we have. And sometimes that desires simply out of emotion that may not be the real desire. In those cases, what happens? When we put our effort and do it, then our duties will not complete. And in relation to the duties, Buddha gave a beautiful sutta, the discourse. It's called the Singalavada Sutta, explaining that each one of us has got to fulfill the duties properly in accordance with it. And the very moment when we fulfill our duties properly, then that brings well-being, that brings harmony, that brings peace. And you have a child, then you have to fulfill your child, you as a mother, to look after the child. When you are looking after your child, and do not think that you are giving your time to your child. Think that your child is a part of your life. I normally give a simile that your child is your mind. Now it's your time to train your mind. So fulfilling your duty correctly in that present moment, in that circumstances, environment, and with your love and kindness, then definitely you will find happiness, and there will be no difference between practice of isolation and practice in that moment. But obviously, if you have time, you do have to go and do the practice in isolation times, in isolation. Yeah? So this is what we have to do. And this is so-called Buddha Dhamma, is basically fulfilling our duties correctly. And when we fulfill our duties correctly, and that's the moment we are practicing the Dhamma, real Dhamma, in our day-to-day life. When I was just a monk living with other monks, other temples, and you have responsibilities of cleaning the center, monastery, or responsibility of doing this and doing that. And then we thought, as a resident monk, we thought that we have fulfilled our duties, and we have been doing so much. And we normally used to complain about the abbot, that he is not doing this, he is not doing that. I've been doing this, and he is just sitting in a room or just going out, and so and so. So he was doing his job, his duty, and we were supposed to be doing our duties, but we are trying to compare with someone else. And as a result of that, there is a sense of a friction in our hearts and in our mind. But now I realize that as I developed, and as I become kind of a chief or the abbot of the center, you don't have time for yourself. There are so many responsibilities. You have duties to fulfill, to teach, to lead, and also to observe. And sometimes physically doing, and sometimes speaking. And other times again, you are not saying anything. Despite of knowing that they are not doing, despite of knowing that it needs to be done, but it's not done. So, like that. So when we fulfill our duties properly as a mother, as a father, towards our children, and then as a children towards our parents, our brothers, and as a citizen, if we perform our duties properly, then we create the well-being and happiness towards ourselves, and then to the community, to the family, to the community, and to the society. So fulfilling our duties in correct way is the real practice. Okay? Real practice of meditation. So do not worry about whether you need, or are you being selfish or not. You can have those thoughts, but again, fulfilling duties is also practice of the meditation and developing that. Okay? This afternoon I was following Facebook page, and there was a controversial statement came saying using the mask. Some scientists say you don't have to wear a mask to prevent from this virus, and others says should wear it, at least it can prevent. And now the scientists themselves are in dilemma whether the wearing a mask is helpful or not. But in the meantime, they are also wearing the masks. Okay? So, I think and now I remember the story, and that story came to me. So I wrote a book called Tsunami, and that's in relation to the tsunami happened about almost 20 years ago in Asia, and which killed thousands of people, and it hit about 6 or 7 countries that time. It was a massive tsunami. And that time, someone asked me about the Buddhist point of view in tsunami concept. And that moment, I brought up a story from the Jataka stories, previous life of the Buddha. And in one of the Jataka stories, the story goes like this, that they were living in an island, and in that island, as they lived there for a longer period of time, they neglected the laws, the rules, and they simply used it without concerning the environmental safety. And with that, this whole island becomes so polluted, and with that pollution, the story says that the divine beings had a conversation to clean up the whole island. And within that whole this divine meeting, there were 2 groups. One group were saying that we have to wipe it up all, and then another group became very compassionate, that we should let them know that this is going to happen. And then the one divine group, the leader of that group, went into So he didn't go, but the one who was a compassionate divine being, he went down to that island and warned the people that because you have done this environmental damage, now there is a discussion going on that the tsunami will come and will wipe it up. So clean the whole island. So you better go, you prepare yourself and rescue. So evacuate yourself. And immediately when this compassionate divine being came down and informed the people, so they had a conversation that what we should do. But in the same time, there is another divine group. He was not happy with this information that given to the human beings, went down to the human beings and then told them that the previous divine being who told you that the tsunami is coming is not the truth. He was lying. Do not need to worry. And that divided the two groups of people. So human beings become two groups. One group saying that we should evacuate, and another group is saying we don't have to, because he also got the message from the divine. So with that discussion, divided two groups. And then, thank you, Colin. Yes, December 2004. And then this one who believed in this divine message went on collecting few people and then went on building the ship, the boats. And another group who didn't believe, they just heedlessly stayed and just entertained, not thinking of anything. And by the time when it was full moon day, as it was told that before full moon day you have to evacuate, then this group, one who listened the divine message, went into and stayed in this boat. And they left the island before the tsunami came. But those who heedlessly, not thinking of any other options and taking that message as the truth, the divine say this is not going to happen, then what happened was tsunami came and killed them all and cleaned the whole island. And now it seems like we have two scientists, like a divines, that we believe in scientists discoveries now, and everything depend on it. And now we have two different groups of scientists saying, one group is saying that we shouldn't be wearing a mask when we go out, and another group is saying that we should wear it. One way or another, both are saying the same thing, that there is this virus out there. And every possible ways that we can follow, we should be doing it. So wearing a mask is not the problem, and it won't harm anybody. It won't harm anyone. So I suggest you to use this mask when you go out. Like a group of this group of human beings who listen this divine message saying that there will be a tsunami coming. So they prepared the boat and then evacuated themselves. So that is same with us. So whenever you go out, at least for a couple of months, you can wear the masks. It won't harm anybody. It just keeps you safe. If there is a virus, it's okay. If there is not virus, then again it's still okay. If there is a virus, at least there is a percentage that you are protected. If there is not, then still your breathing become normal. So the air that's going into your nostrils and into your body being purified, filtered. So its only benefit is there. So do not worry. Forget about what the scientist says. In my opinion, whether scientists or the doctors are saying or the government are saying that you don't have to wear it, and then some would say you wear it. My suggestion is just wear it. And as a result of that, I brought over 500 masks from Thailand to distribute, and I have already posted to our members. In the meantime, our members are also taking it to distribute to other people as well. Okay, other people as well. So we still have probably 100 or 200 masks. So if you need it, just let me know. I can post it for you for free. For free. Okay, so that's why you don't have to be one who has got the virus and only you are wearing it. You can wear it. At least you keep yourself safe. Yeah, at least you can keep yourself safe. Okay, so this is, I think, would be my talk for today. It's just here and there. And lastly, I also would like to say that if you are in position to contact with anyone who is living alone, anyone who is staying alone and unable to go anywhere, just ring them. I think I have mentioned a few weeks, about maybe 2 weeks ago, that I used to ring one very old lady, and today I again rang her. She is now 91 and she cannot hear properly, but the very moment when I asked her to accept the 5 precepts, she started saying Namo Tassa for 3 times, and then she followed the 5 precepts. And I asked her to do the chanting, and the way she was chanting was bits and pieces from here and there, and then I asked her to follow me. So I chanted over the phone with her, and then she was following, chanting with me. And so probably about half an hour of doing chanting along with her, that comforted her. And she at the end told me that she hasn't spoken for anyone over 2 weeks, lonely. And she has only refuge was the chanting. Although she wasn't able to chant properly, at least her consciousness is thinking of the chanting. Now she cannot read because of the problem in her eyes, and she cannot hear properly because of her ears problem. So in this difficult time, if you have time, just give them a call. And anything that they can remember, if you know that they are familiar with that, bring that stories and speak with them. At least they will feel that there is someone that's still thinking of them. And with that, at least their mindset will be like a little bit watered to blossom the flower in their hearts. So I offer this as tonight's reflection and also guidance to you all. And I hope that you are all enjoying. So in a few minutes time we will have a evening chanting and guided meditation. So I would like to invite you to join with us in this chanting and as well as a guided meditation. If you are not coming for the chanting, at least I encourage you to come and practice together for half an hour, the time for yourself, for your own good and happiness. At the end, I would like to thank you, Prani and John, for £40 donation towards the utility bills at the center, and also thank you Winnie and M for the food donation today, and also Professor Jayasinghe who kindly called, Manuri, and everyone who concerned and kindly calling and sending a message and asking for the well-being of the monks and the center. And then lastly, those who are coming to join the children's Vesak celebration on this Sunday, which start at 9:30. And if you have made the lanterns like these, then you can drop at the center, so you will be hanging around in this hall to decorate the Buddha statue. Okay, and meanwhile, you're most welcome to join this retreat on the Sunday, and we'll be doing online as well. So with this, may you be happy, peaceful, and successful. Stay safe, take care, and we'll see you shortly. If not, then good night. May the Buddha bless you.